Bonjour. Today we're gonna work on the reflexive verb. We're gonna go in a little bit deeper into it. So last time we learned, hey, if the action happened to oneself, we put a reflexive pronoun, right? Me, te, ce, nous, vous, ce. Okay. So now we're going to have to learn, and we did some conjugation in present. Now we're going to have to learn how to conjugate a reflexive verb in passé composé. D'accord? So, verbe réflexif au passé composé. OK? Verbe réflexif au passé composé. So, some things you remember, passé composé, right? We have the subject, then we have, so I can do that, passé composé égale sujet, plus auxiliaire, plus verbe participe passé. OK? We know that for the auxiliary, it's either to be or to have, right? Usually it's to have, but we're going to use to be as an auxiliary when we have a moving verb. You know the verb from the 17, the list of 17 verbs, okay? And when we use to be, what do? We add a E or a S at the end of the past participle, and that's going to have to match the subject. Okay, so that's the normal passé composé, the one we already learned. Here, we're going to have a reflexive pronoun. So it's going to be something like that. Plus auxiliaire. Okay? So I'm going to put the reflexive pronoun right after my subject. Je, me, tu, te, il, se, nous, vous, il, se. Okay? And then my auxiliaire, watch out, that's going to be fun. Instead of deciding if it's to be or to have, well, it's going to be always to be. Okay? That means here I'm going to put a E, and here I'm going to put an S if needed. Okay? So for example, elle s'est levée. Okay? So here, she woke up herself. All of that, it's feminine. It's beautiful. I like it. I put an E at the end. D'accord? Elle s'est lavée. Okay? She took a shower of herself. Boom, I put an E at the end. Okay? So I can eventually conjugate everything with a verb like lever. Je me suis levé. Okay? I'm going to put a E if je is a girl, right? Tu t'es levé. That's mean to wake up, by the way. I'm going to put a E if tu is a girl. Il s'est levé. I do nothing. Elle s'est levée. I put a E. I put a E, that's an obligation. And on s'est levé. Levé. I'm going to put an S. D'accord? Because on, it's a group of people, right? It's more than one person. And then it's going to be nous sommes levés. Here, I'm going to put an E if nous, it's only girl. But I'm going to put an S because it's always plural. Vous êtes levé. Here, I'm going to put an E if vous, it's only girl. And I'm going to put an S, but it's not always because if I'm formal, I'm not going to put an S, it will be only one person, right? And then it's going to be ils se sont levés with an S because that's going to be always plural. And elles se sont levées, ES, because that's going to be always feminine on plural. Okay? So I'm going to do that like that here. E, S, and by the way here, I forgot something. It could be he as well, because on, if it's only girls. If the group is only girls, it would be like that as well. Here, it's going to be the same. Here, it's either only girl or plural or singular. And here, it's going to be always feminine plural. Okay? Do you understand that? So, verbe réflexif au passé composé. I match my subject with my reflexive pronoun. D'accord? I match my subject with my reflexive pronoun. I use the verb to be. I make sure to match the ending of my past participle to match that with my reflexive pronoun, which refer to my subject. Okay? The only time I do not do the es at the end, it is when I have a direct object after. For example, elle s'est lavée. Okay? So here, that's red. And S apostrophe, it's red because here, ce equal, c'est mon direct object. D'accord? So she washed room herself. The reflexive pronoun, this thing here, is a direct object. Okay? Watch this sentence. Elle s'est lavé les cheveux. Okay? Here, I do nothing because what is my direct? Okay, so here I'm going to do that. Objet direct. Objet direct. I made a mistake. That's funny, I spent too much time here. Objet direct égale ce. Okay? And here, dun, 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 objet direct égale les cheveux. Aha! So, what's happening here? My objet direct, it is les cheveux, which means my S apostrophe. What is my S apostrophe then? Let's think about it. Okay? I can do something like that. Well, let's think about it. Objet indirect égale ce in this case. I'm going to tell you why. Listen carefully here. Okay? So, hop là. She washed whom? Herself. Right? That means that's a direct object. She washed what? The hair. That's a direct object. Of whom? Oh, I have of, that's a preposition. Oh, so because I have a preposition, that means of whom, that's indirect object, right? So that's an indirect object. So I do not do the link. Okay? So let's review everything here. In general, we do the link between the pronoun and the past participle. Okay? If the pronoun is feminine, I put a E. If it's plural, I put an S. If it's feminine plural, I put ES. Except when I have a direct object after. If I have a direct object after, that means my pronoun is an indirect object. That means I do nothing. Okay? So keep that in mind. Do some exercise. And we're going to go from there. Okay? If you have any question, please ask me. Because if you don't, you're going to get in trouble after. Okay? Ça marche? And then we're going to keep going with the reflexive pronoun, but we're going to do that when you give an order. Listen, let's go. Okay? So it's going to be affirmative. And when we use the affirmative, we don't use the subject, right? We just shout out the order. Listen, write, go, run, right? Okay, so we're going to do the same with the reflexive pronoun. So that's going to be something like, we are not going to put the subject. Watch, okay. Tu I'm going to take an example. That's going to be way easier. Affirmatif avec les verbes réflexifs. D'accord? My accent. Tu te couches. OK? Sujet, pronom, verbe. Tu te couches à 23 heures. D'accord? I'm being very nice here. Oh, you're going to bed at 11 p.m. Okay? Good night. Okay, perfect. And now I'm very upset. I'm like, okay, tonight you're going to bed early because last time I asked you to go to bed at 11 p.m., but you went to bed at 1 a.m. Okay? So now I'm going to give you an order. I'm not going to use my subject anymore. But guess what? My pronoun is going to stay here and te is going to go into toi. And I'm going to say, couche-toi. OK? Couche-toi. Ça marche? And that's going to be how I do affirmative, a command with a reflexive pronoun, with a reflexive verb. The subject disappears. The reflexive pronoun is going to stay here. Let's say you're here with your friend and you're not going to bed. I'm going to say, hey, everybody, go to bed. Couchez-vous. Okay? And then if I say, hey, you know what? Let's go to bed. Couchons-nous. Okay? So for vous and nous, here, that's not my subject. It's my reflexive pronoun. Be careful with that. Okay? Couchez-vous, couchons-nous. We keep the same pronoun. Nous and vous. But for tu or te, because think about it this way. Couche-te, that sounds very bizarre. Couche-toi. It's better. Okay? So that's going to be how we do it. Then, négation. Avec une phrase affirmative. So let's say now, I'm going to be like, hey, don't go to bed at 1 a.m. OK? Négation avec une phrase affirmative. When you have a negation, you don't change anything. Ne te couche pas trop tard. OK? I don't change anything. So the negation for once, the negation is way easier. OK? I don't need to think about the toi. I don't need to invert anything. I just skip the subject. Ne vous couchez pas trop tard. D'accord? Oh, you know what? I should have been smarter on this one. Tac. Tac. And now I can copy it and I can redo it. Ne, I forgot that. Ne nous couchons pas trop tard. Did I say vous here? I mix them up. Well, it doesn't matter. The right order is that. Pam, 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 pam. Sorry about that. It doesn't matter. Okay, so ne vous couchez pas trop tard. Again here, te, nous, vous. It is not my subject. It's my reflexive pronoun. Okay, so that's going to be pretty much it when you give an order with the reflexive verb. The only thing you have to be careful here is that te goes into toi. Okay, so here maybe I can put, ooh, I can do that. Ooh, smiley face, danger, haha. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that. I'm having some fun here. Te goes into toi. D'accord? Négation avec une phrase affirmative. So here I can do the same. No, I'm super excited with this thing. That's a little bit dorky, Sebastian. Okay? Ça marche? And we're going to finish something with verbe réflexif avec un infinitif. D'accord? Why is not happy? Oh yes, réflexive avec un infinitif. Okay? What does that mean? Well, you know, I like to run. I like to eat chocolate, right? So here I say I like. I like to eat, that's infinitive, right? So how does that work when I have a reflexive pronoun? Where do I put my reflexive pronoun, right? So j'aime manger du chocolat. So here I have one verb, I have two verbs. If it's reflexive, where do I put my pronoun? Do I do je, me, or something like that? So j'aime. Okay, I'm going to use something else. J'aime me brosser les cheveux le matin. D'accord? I like to comb my hair in the morning. Ah! Yes, I gave you the answer. So here, me, my reflexive pronoun, is going to stick with the main verb. What's the main verb here? It's to like or it's to comb? The main verb is to comb. Okay? So, j'aime me brosser les cheveux le matin. Because watch, I can say, je veux me brosser les cheveux le matin. D'accord? So, the main verb, it's still brosser. Okay? So, me is going to stick with that. My reflexive pronoun is going to stick with the same verb. I'm going to pick another one. Elle doit se brosser les cheveux le matin. D'accord? So here, again, brosser, this is my wrong color. Brosser, this is my main verb. So my reflexive pronoun is going to stick with it. So now let's add a negation to that. Where do I put my negation? Around my verb conjugated. Why is my verb conjugated? Devoir in this case. Okay? So my negation is going to be right here. Tac, tac, and that has no impact with my reflexive pronoun or my conjugated verb. Okay? So that's pretty much it. For the reflexive, the verb reflexive avec un infinitif, the pronoun stick to the main verb. Stick with the main verb. Okay? So again, you're going to have a couple exercises for that. Look at them, practice, nothing complicated. Make sure to conjugate, because this verb aimer, vouloir, devoir, I can put, allez, nous devons nous coucher tôt. We must go to bed early. And what did I do? Oh boy. Yeah, it's going to be the same. Coucher, that's going to be green. Vert, nous, ça va être rouge car c'est mon pronom réflexif. Nous devons nous coucher tôt. D'accord? So, here it's the same, devoir. I can also say that. Oh, let's change it. Let's take another verb, for example. Nous allons, we are going to bed early. Nous allons nous coucher tôt. D'accord? So, aimer, vouloir, devoir, aller. What are those verbs? Those are called auxiliary second. Those are verbs that's going to help you to give more detail to your main sentence, to your main verb. Okay? So, coucher tôt, okay? That's with, if you put aller before, it's going to make future. Se brosser les cheveux. Oh, I must. That's an order. I want. Je veux. Yes, I would like. I want. And j'aime, it's I like. Okay? Does that make sense? Again, do a couple exercises. Look at them. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to contact me. So, here, the reflexive pronoun in passé composé. We match the pronoun, the reflexive pronoun. We match the past participle with the reflexive pronoun. Okay? She woke up whom? Herself. Herself, that's feminine, I put a E. If it's plural, I put an S. If it's feminine plural, I put ES. Be careful. Oh, look at me. Toot, toot, toot. That's it. That's a warning. Okay? Be careful here. Because I have a direct object after, I do nothing. Okay? Ça marche? So be careful with that. Okay? Then, affirmative, when you give an order, you drop the subject pronoun, but you keep the reflexive pronoun. You just put it after. Te turn into toi. that's the rule. Et plus, it sounds better. Couche-te, non, 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 non. Couche-toi, that's better. Couchons-nous, couchez-vous. Okay? Remember, those are not subject. They are reflexive pronoun. If you do a negation, the pronoun goes back in front of the verb, and I put ne pas around the verb conjugated with the pronoun inside the negation. And then when you have an infinitive, with the infinitive, it's super easy. You just put the pronoun before the verb infinitive. Make sure to match the pronoun with your subject, right? You see? Se, elle, nous, nous. You know what? I'm going to do something like that. Bam. Bam. This way, with the color, you can see it's matching. Okay? Ça marche? Excellent. So, I'm going to stop here. Do your exercise. Practice. And if you have any question, please contact me. Okay? Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. And I'm going to see you next time.